Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now. This morning.
Good morning. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Tuesday, July 2nd, and unfortunately we have a bit of a rainy Tuesday on tap, right?
It's rainy. Yes, it's going to continue to do so. We have another about 1.5 to 2 inches in some cases coming. Good morning to you, by the way.
Good morning. Get ready for the rain, right? We're kind of hitting them. We're not warming them up this morning.
No, we're not. But it is going to be comfortable. It'll be comfortable during the day, though. So let's get outside and show you what's going on here. Take a look. We've got wet, occasional rainfall on the way later on today. We'll also be seeing the possibility of a heavier rainfall coming back down to the south by Prairie du Chien. We'll also be picking up some pretty interesting rainfall processes going into the next couple of hours here. Why do I say that? Because here it is. Take a look. This is the rainfall that's been kind of kicking out of the area for right now. Up to the north, you've been dry. You've picked up some cases up to 1/2 inch or more. For the limited areas, they picked up maybe up to 1/4 inch, and I'm talking about areas right by Eau Claire as well as Red Wing and up by Ladysmith. Ladysmith's been in and out of the rainfall. Down into the central zones by us here in La Crosse, we picked up at least 1.5 inches, maybe a wee bit more to our east, and down to the south by areas by Prairie du Chien, they picked up at least about a couple of inches of rainfall with more on the way, my friends. We'll have all that rainfall coming in. The wet commute will continue for you, so just be careful, take it slow, and give your people in front of you just a little extra bumper space. Back to you.
Thank you, Art. And Hurricane Beryl continues to set new records as it charges through the Caribbean. Overnight, the storm strengthened to what's being described as a potentially catastrophic Category 5 storm, the strongest hurricane this early in the season ever. It comes after Beryl left islands in the region in ruins. Jared Hill takes a closer look at that.
This morning in Barbados, a look at the mess left behind after Hurricane Beryl ravaged the Windward Islands.
I didn't think that the damage would be so much.
Off the coast of St. Vincent, rough seas sunk one boat, slammed another into the rocky shore. The country's prime minister says at least one person was killed.
It has left in its wake immense destruction, pain, suffering. Union Island has been devastated. The reports that I have received indicate that 90% of the houses have been severely damaged or destroyed.
The storm hit Grenada's Carriacou Island with winds of 150 miles per hour, bringing with it a 6 to 9 foot storm surge.
The expectation is that the damage in Carriacou and Petite Martinique is going to be extreme.
The storm fueled by warmer ocean waters linked to climate change. In the Cayman Islands, residents lined up to fill sandbags Monday as Beryl pushes toward Jamaica. Officials are asking residents to prepare.
We're here. There's nothing we can really do. We're just going to batten down and ride it out.
It's still not clear how Hurricane Beryl will impact the U.S., but officials worry it's an ominous sign of what's to come.
Beryl is expected to reach Jamaica by tomorrow before pushing to Mexico's Yucatan region. Several U.S. military bases in Europe are at a heightened state of alert this morning due to a possible terrorist threat. Officials say the bases were put on their second highest level alert over the weekend after receiving intelligence of a potential attack. The news comes as the European Football Championships are currently being held in Germany, and France is getting ready to host the Olympics later this month. Ex-Trump advisor Steve Bannon has started serving his 4-month prison sentence for contempt of Congress. A small crowd of supporters cheered for Bannon across the street from a low-security federal prison where he turned himself in yesterday in Connecticut. Others in the crowd chanting "Lock him up" and "Traitor." Bannon was convicted after defying a subpoena from the House January 6 committee investigating the attack on the Capitol.
I am proud to go to prison. If this is what it takes to stand up to tyranny, if this is what it takes to stand up to the Garland, corrupt, criminal DOJ.
Bannon has been free for nearly 2 years while he appealed, but an appeals court panel upheld his contempt conviction and the U.S. Supreme Court rejected his last-minute plea. Lawyers for former President Trump have filed a letter to challenge the conviction in his hush money trial following yesterday's Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity. Sources say the letter filed with New York Judge Juan Merchan seeks permission to file a motion to challenge the verdict. In May, a jury convicted Trump of 34 felony counts for falsifying business records in his hush money trial. If the judge allows the motion, it could delay the former president's sentencing, originally set for next week. Grand jury records in the Jeffrey Epstein case kept secret for 16 years until now. Florida lawmakers passed a bill for them to be unsealed. The transcripts reveal prosecutors from the Palm Beach State Attorney's Office repeatedly questioned and accused underage victims of committing crimes. 24 high school-age girls, one as young as 14, testified how Epstein paid them for massages at his mansion and sexually abused them repeatedly. 2 were raped. Meanwhile, prosecutors seem to brush off Epstein's own criminal behavior. Epstein served just 13 months on work release. 6 people are dead, including 3 children, after a house fire in Necedah Sunday morning. Authorities were called to the fire on Morrow Smile Road around 2:30 a.m. The home was fully engulfed when crews arrived. Firefighters stayed on scene for more than 12 hours fighting the blaze.
At around 2:30, she thought she heard something like mortars. Or bangs, which concerned her. She called the sheriff. The sheriff says, "Oh, you live on Morrow Smile? There's a house fire there." And that's when she looked out the window. She woke me up, and the woods behind you were all just orange.
Investigators believe the fire was accidental. However, the investigation is still ongoing. Names of the victims and more details haven't been released. A GoFundMe has been created, and you can find that link on our digital platforms. An Illinois man is dead following a crash near Decorah. The Winneshiek County Sheriff's Office responded to a report of a single vehicle crash around 1 p.m. Saturday. The vehicle, driven by 78-year-old Rodney Carlson of Hanover Park, Illinois, ran off Highway 9 near 260th Avenue. A witness told officers the vehicle passed them at a high speed before swerving into a ditch. Police say Carlson was ejected from the vehicle and died from a head injury. A 71-year-old man is dead after drowning at the Mekana Dam. The Barron County Sheriff's Office was called to the dam Saturday. Investigators say the man took his 2 grandchildren fishing and swimming. Then one child started to struggle in the water. The man went to help both children get to a safe spot when he suddenly drowned. Both children were wearing life jackets. In a little more than 24 hours, people will be heading to Riverside Park for Riverfest, but parts of the park are still underwater from recent storms, and of course, it's raining today. News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall is learning how festival staff is paying close attention to the rising water levels.
The festival is a go, but the park is still flooded. Some parts of Riverside Park are completely submerged. But La Crosse Facilities and Marine Operations Manager Jim Flottmeyer isn't concerned.
As long as it stays kind of where it's projected to go at 14.9, it'll stay out of the park. It'll stay off the road for the most part. So we've got, various places barricaded.
The barricades are blocking access to the levees and closing off some of the sidewalks.
Riverfest themselves are going to try and pay extra attention to this part of the park.
There will be more security to make sure festival goers stay away from the water.
People are curious, they want to get close to the water, and we'd rather keep them away from it because the current is very swift right now.
Parks, Recreation, and Forestry is also staying diligent about watching the water levels. Recently, they've been paying attention to what goes underwater at certain levels.
This year we knew to be prepared with barricades and what had to be removed out of certain areas, porta potties and dumpsters and stuff like that had to come out of parks that were going to go underwater.
In La Crosse, Jeremy Wall, News 8 Now this morning.
Flottmeyer says he hopes to see the water recede this week. U.S. gymnastics superstar Simone Biles is making her 3rd trip to the Summer Olympics after locking up her spot on the 5-woman U.S. team. Her return comes 3 years after the 4-time gold medalist announced she was pulling out of the Tokyo Olympics to prioritize her mental health. Following her 2-year break, Biles won 6 world's all-around titles and 2 national championships.
This is definitely our redemption tour. I feel like we all have more to give, and our Tokyo performances weren't the best. We weren't under the best circumstances either, but I feel like we have a lot of weight on our shoulders to go out there and prove that we're better athletes, we're more mature, we're smarter, we're more consistent.
The Summer Olympic Games are set to kick off in Paris July 26th. The time now is 6:08. Still ahead on your morning news. A court will allow part of President Biden's student debt repayment plan to move forward. Mechanics for airline WestJet are voting on a strike deal, and a new study brings up the benefits of female managers. We'll take a look in your consumer news.
The pleasure craft is an increasingly popular way to vacation on the water. I'm Wendy Gillette in Blue Lagoon, Croatia, with some cheaper options for those of us who don't own a yacht.
Doesn't she have the best job? And for now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. A Purple Heart medal has been returned to the family of its rightful owner in Chicago. Illinois State Treasurer Michael Frerichs returned the medal to the son of World War II vet, Army Master Sergeant Jerome Even. His son said the state treasurer let him know the Purple Heart was found in a safe deposit box that belonged to his dad. Treasurer Frerichs said they still have 10 Purple Hearts to return to veterans across that state. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news is after the break.
Ashley Stars and Stripes mattress sale is going on now. Save up to $500 on select mattresses. Plus pay 0% interest for 5 years with no minimum purchase on all in-store purchases. Only at Ashley. Shop more deals in-store and online.
Our Constitution has given us more rights, freedoms, and prosperity than any country in history. Every 4th of July, we come together to celebrate those freedoms. But right now, we're a divided nation. We have to stop putting on the blue jersey or red jersey. Instead, put on the red, white, and blue jersey. Come together and get things done. I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message. I'm proud to be an American.
If you've been hurt in a car accident, you need the personal injury attorneys of Schwabel, Getz & Sieben. Our experienced attorneys are 100% committed to helping our clients receive a fair and equitable settlement. Schwabel, Getz & Sieben can use their size and resources to fight big insurance companies and ensure the best compensation possible for you. Call the personal injury powerhouse Schwabel, Getz & Sieben or visit schwabel.com to receive a free case consultation. Representing accident victims for over 50 years.
Are you in need of a new water heater? Here at Maxwell White, we offer the best solutions for homeowners in La Crosse and the surrounding areas. Being the best means installing the best. Our American-made Bradford White water heaters can revolutionize your home and give you the home comfort you've always wanted. Contact Maxwell White today to find out how a professionally installed Bradford White water heater is right for your home. Our expert technicians will answer all of your questions and find the best possible solution for you. Maxwell White, plumbing done right.
This is Kathy. She's about to see her dentist. She's afraid. Not because of the drill, but because of the bill. A big bill. But Kathy doesn't need to be afraid, and neither do you, thanks to affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company. It's easy to get this coverage. Don't believe me? Call or go online for all the details. You could even have this free information kit. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance. It helps pay for over 400 procedures. That's a lot. I'm talking cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures. Bottom line, you'll have help paying for routine care and expensive major work. But if you want deductibles, forget it. There aren't any. No annual maximum either. Plus, you can see any dentist you want. Stop fearing the big bill. Start saving at the dentist. Call now or go to sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Ashley Stars and Stripes mattress sale is going on now. Don't miss these mattress hot buys, now only $7.99. And get a free adjustable base upgrade with an Align by Ashley Sleep mattress purchase. Only at Ashley. Shop more deals in-store and online.
All right, welcome back. As we get into the rainfall this early morning, a little patchy fog down to the south as well. We are looking at the possibility of all that rainfall continuing to stretch into the area. Slowly but surely, it'll continue to drag eastward out of the area. And when I say into the area, I'm talking about areas by Prairie du Chien and then working up to Sparta, possibly here in La Crosse. But we're backing down on the rainfall here locally. Up to the north, rainfall has been really backing off. Let's take a quick peek here as you get into the local rainfall in some of the cases. This is the last 12 hours here that you've seen. So starting out, it's looking fairly meager, and then there comes a heavy rainfall, and then it backs off. So right now we're in the dry spot there. Then take it down to the south just a bit. We're looking at that same situation thunderstorm activity coming in, and then the rainfall pops in, and then down to the south, you're seeing that heavier rainfall with more on the way. So you can see it coming in with the new stuff, tracking a little bit closer now. You've got Prairie du Chien here, you've got Boscobel there, and then you've got light rainfall with maybe a few little smatters of moderate rainfall moving into the picture. So for your morning commute, it's really starting to back off from the north down to the central zone. We're expecting more of this rainfall to kick in as we get into it. We're looking at more along the lines of about half an inch to 3/4 of an inch for folks that are up to the north. And then once you get down to the south, you're looking at maybe another inch, maybe 2 inches of rainfall, possibly 3 if you go even deeper south into the area. So 2 more storms working through the forecast this afternoon and this evening. We're looking at severe threat that is low, and then the flash flood threat concerns are all about what we just picked up recently. So I'll have more about that coming up in my main weather.
In your consumer news this morning, a federal appeals court will allow a central part of President Biden's student debt repayment plan to move forward. It lowers from 10 to 5% the amount some borrowers who qualify for a repayment plan need to pay. The ruling is temporary, so it's unclear if the financial terms could change in the future. The Supreme Court struck down the Biden administration's original loan program earlier this year. Mechanics for Canadian airline WestJet have agreed to end a strike. The strike canceled travel plans for tens of thousands of airline passengers over a long holiday weekend in the country. The union is expected to vote on a temporary agreement, which was not made public. A new study shows why having more female managers is good for business. Researchers at Harvard Business School found female managers are better at building rapport with teams made up of men and women. This leads to communication, organization, and in turn, better production. They found employees seemed happier because women are better at creating schedules and looking out for workers' interests. Researchers found when men managed other men, they also had good results, but the study found when men and women work together, it's best to have a woman in charge. This 4th of July holiday week, many Americans will be hitting the water for recreation and relaxation. During the pandemic, boating and yachting exploded in popularity, and it's not letting up. In today's Travel Tuesday, CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports on the yachting industry from Blue Lagoon, Croatia.
Bubbling jacuzzis at sea, elegant living and dining rooms, and marble bathrooms dazzled visitors at the Palm Beach International Yacht Show earlier this year.
There are some beautiful boats here, beautiful, beautiful boats.
The boating industry experienced unprecedented growth when COVID hit.
During the pandemic, all boats rose with the tide. Every small boats, big boats, everything grew.
While economic pressures have slowed overall increases, the premium yacht sector remains strong. The market forecast is almost 7% growth from 2023 to 2032. In Palm Beach, Fraser Yachts showed off 12 vessels for sale and 6 for charter.
I think the real driver for the industry is that we're selling a dream. And at the essence of that dream is sort of the ultimate personal freedom.
Now the company sees more first-time yacht buyers who are younger than 50 on average instead of close to 60.
But you don't have to be a multi-millionaire to vacation on a yacht. Some more reasonably priced offerings allow travelers to charter a boat for the week or just rent a cabin on board.
Cabins on a Dream Yacht catamaran, which we sailed on for a special raid in Croatia, include private bathrooms, plenty of storage space, and large beds. A cabin charter for 7 nights in some of Dream Yacht's more than 40 destinations starts at around $1,200, and a skipper charter with 8 guests is just over $3,500, which breaks down to $446 a person for a week.
People think that yachting is expensive, inaccessible, and not available to them. We're here to prove them wrong.
Cabin charters include water sports and a host, serving personalized meals, even cooking fresh fish from local markets. Croatia is the world's largest yacht charter market. As more tourists travel there and other popular yachting locations, first-time sailors with Dream Yacht have spiked 20% after the pandemic.
Dream Yacht says Americans most often book charters in the Bahamas, Virgin Islands, and the Mediterranean. That's it for your morning consumer news. Time now is 6:18. Let's check in with News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett for a look at our forecast. Where do we sign up for the yacht trip, Art?
I tell you, and reality is starting to look more and more like Instagram. I don't know if you think so, but that just looked like somebody's tweet, you know, so whatever they call it these days. In fact, we get into it. The rainfall up to the north is kind of gone meager. The bulk of the rainfall is down to the south, but we have a couple of more batches on the way. We'll take a look here. That was the last, say, 6 hours in some cases, but we take a look here with the wind still kind of coming right back up and kind of moving to the north. So we've got that reprieve coming in, slowing down that rainfall. All right, so a couple of more rounds of storms here as we get into it here. We also will see that the flash flood threat is gone, or I should say the severe threat is gone. What we've got next, though, what's up for today and what's up for the 4th and our river levels. So let's get into it. We've got the fog and low cloud activity still holding on. As we finish out this, you're looking at mostly patchy fog here, getting closer to dense fog as you get closer to Boscobel, though. But we also have more rainfall for you on the way, believe it or not. So low cloud activity and fog. You see the drier conditions out there, and I say drier, but cloudy conditions indeed still holding on. But more rainfall is on the way, tracking in from Mankato. You'll see that continue to stretch up to Minneapolis. Mason City getting some of that heavier rainfall as well. Then we get back into more of that storm activity coming back again. That's about the 2:55 hour. So we're talking about the latter portion of the afternoon into the middle portion, possibly tracking into the zone here, and then moving into the morning or the evening commute. So that's going to stretch across the area. By 6 o'clock, though, you still see a little bit of the wet on the roadways. You've got that all the way from Red Wing right back to Winona, La Crosse in the mix of that with storm activity. You see down on Decorah, Prairie du Chien as well, Boscobel, all the way up to Mansfield with that rainfall, and continuing on. We've got Wisconsin Rapids going on as well, and continues all the way to the east. As I've mentioned before, flash flood threat is concern is all about what we've picked up so far, and I've seen some areas already pick up in our river levels, maybe up to another foot or so in some cases, or just a little less than a foot moving into the picture. So that's a lot of rainfall that's starting to move in, but a lot of these river levels are starting to slowly trickle down eventually as we get deeper into this week. So expect more rainfall, though, coming in the next several days. Take a look as we go right into how this all plays out. This is the rainfall that I showed you earlier. Again, a different version of it, and as that happens, you're going to be seeing Eau Claire still holding on to just light rainfall, getting into the 11 o'clock hour, taking a break, and then you get over to La Crosse. You've got the rainfall coming in the form of storm activity, finishing out the 7 a.m. hour, 8 a.m. hour, then back down to the showers, which are lighter. 11 a.m. you take a break as well. So we've got that break coming in deeper into the morning hours and into the early afternoon. We warm up just a couple of degrees here or there, getting up to 77 degrees, so a degree warmer than what we expected yesterday. Thunderstorm activity still a part of our forecast, is a 90% chance. Tomorrow we take a break from this rainfall, let everything just kind of calm down just a bit. Thursday and Friday we've got some shower activity popping in from a 60 to 80% chance, and unfortunately it's on your 4th of July. We'll carry over to how this all looks getting into the weekend. Drier conditions for Saturday with rainfall coming back in the overnight hours. Sunday we've got a 40% chance of rain carrying over into Monday as well, and then more sunshine back on Tuesday. Back to you.
Time now is 6:21. Still ahead on your morning news. A new study finds that nearly a third of all Americans still take an aspirin every day, regardless of the risks. Coming up in your morning medical news, we'll break down the latest data.
Coming up in the Blitz, a wild game at Coors Field between the Rockies and the Brewers, plus a couple Legion highlights from last night. We'll see you after this.
Okay guys, we're all here because US Cellular has an incredible deal. Right now, you can get 4 lines of unlimited data for just $90. On top of that, you also get 4 free phones.
4 free phones.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
How much I weigh is nobody's business.
But Eric Hovde wants to make it his.
Eric Hovde thinks that if you're overweight, insurance companies should charge you more.
There should be consequences to those personal choices. Fine, you want to do that? Your health care is going to cost more.
How insulting is that?
Hovde would increase health care costs for 1 out of every 3 people in Wisconsin.
Eric Hovde, what the hell is wrong with this guy?
At River Valley Remodelers, we know that the bathroom is the most personal space in your house. That's why we don't come in with preconceived ideas or cookie-cutter installs. We'll sit down and talk with you about your needs and dreams. Whether it's a tub or shower or an entire bathroom design, we'll take the time to talk with you and get things just the way you want it. For a limited time, get a free shower door or a color upgrade with your shower purchase. So let's talk about the most personal room in your house. River Valley Remodelers. Improve your home, build our community.
They say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Well, they are correct.
Enjoy one of our tasty steak patty sandwiches paired with a $2 medium iced coffee.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Want to test drive U.S. Cellular's nationwide 5G coverage for free?
Here we go.
Hey, I wonder if U.S. Cellular lets me stream in my... Yep, it's working.
Download the U.S. Cellular Trius app today.
Trust the First Warn weather team to keep you safe, and even better, you can take us with you. Expect more with hourly temps and conditions, video forecast, interactive radar, and your choice of notifications. We're there when you need us.
Celebrating 70 years, we're News 8 Now.
Welcome to the Blitz. With the 4th of July coming up later this week, that means Viroqua is hosting their annual Legion Baseball Tournament. A bunch of games all weekend long, but before that starts up, the 138ers were going up against the Post 68 Grasshoppers. Let's go to the Viroqua Park Bowl. 138ers with an early lead, but the Grasshoppers trying to make a comeback. 2 runners on for Bryce Lenzendorf, and he lines out to left field. That scores the run on the sac fly, but Prairie still trails. 5th inning, Viroqua trying to add some insurance, and they do it in the form of small ball. Braden Peterson with a squeeze bunt. Throw to first in time, but can't find the bag over there. Everyone's safe, so Viroqua leads 5-1. Hoppers down to their last out, but with the runner on, Brady Lenzendorf lines one through to center. That scores a run, now a 3-run game. That's as close as PDC would get as Viroqua closes it out 5-2, the final. Over on the south side of La Crosse, the A's were hosting Sparta Post 100. First inning, runner on second for Waylon Hargrove. The chopper to third is a nice play by the defense, but the throw goes a bit high, and the A's take the lead. Next batter, Landon Teachout steps in, and he lines one out to right field. That drops in for a base hit. A's take the 2-0 lead. Second inning, and Sparta making some noise. They draw 3 walks with the bases loaded as they take the 3-2 lead. Later in the second, bases still going to be loaded, and David Fabry lines one to the corner in left. 2 runners come in to score, but only one would count as the runner missed home plate. The A's get out of the inning, and they would rally for the 11-9 win. It was a beautiful night last night for some Northwoods baseball. Mankato facing off with La Crosse. Moondogs up 1-0 in the first, but Case Sanderson brings in R.J. Hamilton on the blooper to left field. Next batter is going to be Ryan Kucherak. He barrels one up to deep left field. Not enough oomph on it to leave the yard, but he's in safely with a double. Same frame, bases loaded for Sebastian David. He sends a grounder to short, but on the double play attempt, the first baseman is going to pull his foot off, trying to make the stretch, and La Crosse makes it 2-0. Bottom of the second, now it's Sanderson once again coming up in the clutch. That shot finds the right field grass, and Gable Mitchell wheels it home to grow the lead to 3. But here comes Mankato. Casey Shorge fights one off that's going to land into fair territory. That would score 2 Moondogs. La Crosse would go on to take this one, though, by a final of 10-8. Full day of baseball yesterday. Brewers in Denver down 3-0 in the 4th until Jackson Churio comes through clutch with the bases loaded, bringing in 2. And William Contreras is coming up, and he is going to put a good swing on this pitch. And the thin air cannot keep that one in the ballpark. Solo shot gives Milwaukee the lead. Then after a Christian Yelich triple, Willie Adames delivers, tying this game up. This one, a wild back-and-forth game. And then coming up here, the new Brewer, Eric Haas, is at the plate with a chance to give the Crew the lead. He would do just that. But the Rockies would force extra innings in the 10th. Brewers had a runner on third with 1 out, but failed to score him. And the Rockies would hit a walk-off single in the bottom of the 10th as they take the win 8-7. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Life's busy. Off is not an option. You need to be on. On time, on the go, on the call, or just ready to play on. Life's waiting. Power on with Batteries Plus. Visit one of over 700 locations today.
The phone rang, and she said, "Mom, we're going to lose the baby." Doctors knew that Amanda's baby had no chance of surviving.
And because of the extreme abortion ban in her state, we were also about to lose her. Doctors were not allowed to help her until she was almost dying.
We have always been conservative.
But we feel a national abortion ban would be devastating for all families.
It took 34 years to change this place from worn out to wonderful, slow and steady to keep overhead low. The same slow, steady growth has grown us to the best team of home improvement professionals in the region, over 80 today. Voted best to La Crosse because of exceptional quality and unexpected low prices. Whatever your next project, contact us today for a prompt free estimate. You have a problem, we have the solution. Better than you imagined for less than you expected. Contact the board store today.
As we continue the King Furniture Independence Day sale, please note that we will be closed on July 3rd and 4th. But on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, get ready to rumble. It's the King Furniture Independence Day Huge Finish Sale with huge discounts on everything. We're taking 2 days off to celebrate and restock our showroom. Incredible savings on recliners, sofas, sectionals, lift chairs, even mattresses have been marked down. Plus, register to win a room full of furniture. It's King Furniture's Independence Weekend Big Finish Sale this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only.
It's Red, White, and Bargains during Hy-Vee's 4-day sale this Monday through Thursday. 6-pack bottles of Pepsi products, just $2.99 each when you buy 4. Whole seedless watermelon, just $3.98 each. Fresh ground chuck, just $3.98 a pound. Ritz crackers or Chips Ahoy cookies, just $1.99. Our special recipe brats or patties, 10 for just $10. And Lay's kettle-cooked rolled gold or munchies, just $1.99 each when you buy 4. Monday through Thursday, only at Hy-Vee.
Injured in a car accident? Ensure you're fairly compensated for your losses. Don't settle with the insurance company until you've talked with the personal injury law firm of Schwabel, Getz & Sieben. The insurance company's only concern is to settle your case quickly and for as little as possible. Schwabel, Getz & Sieben will fight for you in getting a fair settlement. Call the Minnesota Personal Injury Powerhouse Schwabel, Getz & Sieben or visit schwabel.com to receive a free case consultation. Representing accident victims for over 50 years.
Batteries Plus has the national scale for all your power needs and a dedicated expert for the local support you want. Power on with Batteries Plus Business.
Celebrating 70 years, we're News 8 Now. You expect more, so thank you for watching News 8 Now.
In your morning medical news, the nonprofit Alzheimer's Association has published its final version of new diagnostic criteria for the disease. For the first time, it calls on doctors to rely on biomarkers from lab tests or brain scans rather than pen and paper tests of memory and thinking. The criteria's authors say the change is meant to catch the condition earlier and could allow more people to be diagnosed with the disease through a blood test alone. However, outside experts criticize the change, saying people can have biomarkers without ever developing dementia symptoms. Those pesky common colds may have helped protect children from COVID. Researchers at Yale School of Medicine analyzed nasal swabs taken during the pandemic and found many children were infected with other respiratory pathogens. They found those frequent infections may have boosted their immune systems, protecting them against the worst effects of COVID. It's long been seen as a preventative tool for cardiovascular disease, but in the past 5 years, recommendations on low-dose aspirin have changed. However, a new study suggests some seniors still take a daily aspirin, and they could be putting themselves at unnecessary risk. Mandy Gaither has more on what everyone should know about the potential dangers of taking aspirin every day when it's not needed.
It's a decades-long belief that seems to be taking some time to debunk. Historically, aspirin has been seen as a tool to help prevent heart disease.
What happened a few years ago was that clinical trial data revealed that in older adults, the benefits of aspirin may not outweigh the risks of aspirin.
In 2019, the American College of Cardiology and the American Heart Association updated their guidelines to say that aspirin should be used infrequently to prevent a first heart attack or stroke for those with no history of cardiovascular disease.
Aspirin is a blood thinner, so it affects platelet function, so it affects clotting and increases the risk of bleeding.
Dr. Ashish Sharaju with Cleveland Clinic is one of the authors of a new study looking at daily aspirin use across the U.S. since the recommendation changed. They found that in 2021, about 1 in 3 patients 60 and older who did not have a history of heart disease were still taking aspirin every day for prevention. Based on that data, they project about 3 million of those people across the U.S. were taking it without medical advice.
If you have heart disease, Oftentimes, aspirin is required, and stopping aspirin without the doctor's advice is dangerous. But if you're taking aspirin in the absence of heart disease, it's something that no one's advised you to do, and you're 60 years or older, it's time to have a discussion.
The doctor says since aspirin is an over-the-counter medication, many don't even think to tell their doctor it's being taken, but he says it's important to disclose that. Governor Tony Evers was in Eau Claire yesterday to learn more about the city's efforts to fight PFAS contamination in its groundwater. The governor joined officials to tour a water treatment plant. He also heard a presentation on Eau Claire's proposed PFAS removal facility, which breaks ground next month. Fighting PFAS contamination has been a central part of Evers' agenda as governor.
The bottom line here is that PFAS are still in our environment. People are still making PFAS, and people still are finding out at this point in time that PFAS are wrecking their water and making people ill.
Last year, the governor approved $125 million in funds to combat PFAS in the state's biennial budget. Republican lawmakers, however, have refused to release that money. Governor Evers has since filed a lawsuit against the Republican-led budget committee. The Salvation Army of La Crosse County is kicking off its inaugural July Giving campaign. The charitable organization is normally known for its holiday fundraising efforts, but growing need in the La Crosse area means the group faces rising costs in its quest to end homelessness. According to a press release, demand for Salvation Army services has increased 40% since last April. To make a donation, go to salacrosse.org. A new era started yesterday at UWL. James Beebe officially took the helm as the 11th chancellor of the university. The 54-year-old comes to La Crosse from Keene State College in New Hampshire, where he served as provost and vice president for academic affairs. Beebe, a first-generation college student from England, brings a wealth of experience in higher education. He says he spent recent months connecting with the campus and community, aiming to build a shared vision for UWL's future. Just in time for Independence Day, people in La Crosse got to enjoy a patriotic concert courtesy of the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America. The 90-minute concert was held at the Weber Center yesterday to honor our nation and military veterans. According to the band's commander, getting the chance to connect with the community was a big part of what made the event special.
It's really a joy to see the uplifting environment that we can create for a community like this as we get ready to celebrate 4th of July.
All members of the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America are active duty airmen. The band performs for audiences throughout the Midwest, playing more than 400 shows every year. Time now is 6:36. Here's News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett to tell us what to expect on our morning commute.
And away we go, holding on to what's happening over the next several hours to come. What we're picking up here, in fact, you're going to see what's next. We even have the 4th of July possible forecast in there as well, and the river levels, we'll take a gander at that. We're also going to see the fog still, low cloud activity still holding on down to our south. We'll pick up this rainfall, as you can see, finishing out today. We've got the 8 o'clock hour to the 9 o'clock hour. We've still got another batch of rainfall coming in with the second round coming for here locally here. I should say that was the last of the first batch. This is the second one coming in. You see this continuing on. That'll stretch through your evening commute and beyond, with another round sneaking in down to the south. Rainfall possibly up to the north, well, to the east of Ladysmith there, and then it's up and out it goes. We take a nice look at Wednesday, looking pretty good. Middle 80s possibly. We'll go into Thursday with a little bit of rainfall sneaking in, and that continues to just kind of peter out just a little bit right there. As we get into how this all looks for the next few days, well, we get again the rainfall possibilities with the potential for flash flood concerns. We'll keep an eye on that. In fact, here you can see it right here, what's been happening over the last, say, hour or two over the last couple of days. That's how it all plays out for you. And of course, we can also see here locally. Go ahead. Okay. It's looking pretty good.
And before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
All right, sadly, we have no birthdays today.
Nope, no birthdays, but happy birthday if you are celebrating. And if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
Yeah, that's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com. Look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
And coming up, we're hitting the rails with the president of the 4000 Foundation. The upcoming lacrosse rail fair being held next week. We'll hear all about it.
We need Katrina Shanklin in Congress.
She'll fight to restore women's rights to make our own healthcare decisions.
She'll use her experience to stop a national abortion ban.
And Katrina will protect our reproductive freedoms. I'm Katrina Shanklin, and I approve this message.
How will you reward yourself with the benefits you'll get from Riverbank's Rewards Checking? A morning pick-me-up, a leisurely round, a special dinner, or an evening pause. This checking account comes with 3.04 annual percentage yield. There's also a refund for foreign ATM transaction fees. Stop in to one of the convenient locations or visit online to learn more about Riverbank's Rewards Checking. Riverbank, local banking made simple. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
For over 40 years, La Crosse Glass and Overhead Door has been the go-to company for anything glass and door. We offer a large stock inventory of CEHI garage doors to help you find the perfect fit. As a locally owned business, we take pride in our work and always get the job done. From commercial glass and glazing to residential glass and CEHI garage doors, we have the experience and expertise to help you. Call or visit our website today.
Jolivet Family Farms Homegrown Goodness. Stop by today for some homegrown raspberries, kohlrabi, onions, baby red potatoes, carrots, popcorn, and so much more. Pick your own raspberries daily from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Also available in the market. Check for availability. Find distinctive crafts and decor. Take home some cookies, breads, bars, or pies from our homemade bakery. Only at Jolivet Family Farms, West Salem.
Don't sweat the prices this summer at Black River Furniture Outlet. Stop in and try our new Poly Outdoor. Bottom prices on top quality fan back, rollback, and swivel gliders. Love seats, pub seats, side tables, and more. Shop rustic cabin furniture handcrafted from real wood, perfect for any home. Accent with chair sides, lamps, and a huge selection of rugs. Finish up in the bed shed and browse different styles for any size. Storage beds and bunk beds available. Celebrating 30 years of community and business. Black River Furniture Outlet, Black River Falls.
We're an implant-focused practice. I think the advantage of a father-daughter practice is, I've been at this for 30 years now. I learned things that worked well and things that didn't work so well.
And it was fun to be able to just jump in and kind of complement that. I feel like it made both of us stronger.
You don't expect it when you walk into a dental office. You don't expect the family aspect, but when you walk into our doors, we're going to give you that.
If you think you have a full mouth of challenges, come see us. Come down for a free consultation.
When my family's water was contaminated, Katrina Shanklin got to work. She worked with the governor and fixed the problem. My family can now drink our water thanks to her. I'm really grateful for that.
I'm Katrina Shanklin, and I approve this message.
Welcome back to your local forecast. We get into it here. The rainfall we picked up again all the way from areas by Red Wing up to Eau Claire, extending all the way up to Ladysmith. They picked up at least up to around about 0.6 of an inch or so or more. Down to the south between south of Red Wing all the way down to Winona, La Crosse here locally to Viroqua. We picked up a good round of at least 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rainfall. And folks down to the south, maybe up to 2 inches or so, and maybe even a wee bit more, getting closer to about 2.5 inches in some cases. They've been in the rainfall pretty much this morning. As this progresses, we'll pick up a little bit extra rainfall getting into the southern portions of our area, stretching back as we get into the evening commute. It's going to be wet again for you, so expect your afternoon commute to be a little bit drier, but the western portion of this area as well as the eastern portion is going to be wet for your commute for tonight. Bear that in mind, and that will continue all the way into the 9 o'clock hour. Folks that are settling in, we'll pick up some other batches of rainfall to finish out in the central zone, but possibly by the time we get into 11:30 to around midnight, we could see more rainfall heading back to Prairie du Chien in the form of storm activity. So 2 more rounds of storms coming in. Severe threat is down. We're looking at the flood threat concerns, mostly for the rainfall that we picked up over the last several hours. We get into how this all plays out. You're seeing some areas are actually falling down, and even by Winona, it's going down a little bit more so. So we get into La Crosse as well. This will slowly but surely fall steadily down, and McGregor looking pretty good as well. That will also be tapering down as well as we finish out the next few days here. La Crosse, you have some thunderstorm activity still lingering around, and then we get back into a shower or two here. That will be more along the lines of light rainfall. We'll go into Eau Claire doing the same thing, light rainfall to finish out the morning for you into the afternoon, where it'll be 70 degrees by noon. Here's a look at your forecast as you get into the highs today. 70s and 80s expected as you go well to the north, and you're looking down to the central portion of the area. You're looking at widespread mid upper 70s. Pretty comfortable indeed, with a nice little wind coming out of the southeast. We'll also hold on to some temperatures. You can see widespread 70s for you, and then back up to the north you're looking at again Ladysmith 74 degrees. You pick up areas right by Chippewa Falls holding on to 77 degrees, and then down to the south you've got a little bit cooler. The rainfall we're expecting over into 11 o'clock this evening. Tonight you're going to be seeing up to about 3/4 of an inch, some areas around 1/4 of an inch. We're picking up at least 1/4 of an inch, so this is 3/4 of an inch. This has kind of gone down over the last hour, and for all the way into Friday we're going to see at least up to maybe 3, possibly 3.5 inches of rainfall on the way. Once you get into how this all continues on, we'll go into, once again, Eau Claire getting downward as far as the rainfall is concerned, and eventually we'll go into the 7 days, and you're looking at conditions to be at least in the upper 70s, middle 80s. And we're also going to be looking at eventually lower conditions or temperatures for Thursday for your 4th of July, looking pretty nice as well. So back to you.
Thank you, Art. This morning we're joined by the 4000 Foundation to discuss the upcoming 32nd annual Rail Fair that's rolling into town very soon. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being with us. So tell us a little bit, what is the Rail Fair and when is it?
Well, Rail Fair is, again, 32nd annual. Is going to be held Saturday, July 13th in Copeland Park. It represents our largest and most high-profile fundraiser to raise funds to maintain and restore the La Crosse Short Line Railroad Heritage Museum in Copeland Park.
All right, so next Saturday, what time?
Hours are 10 until 4.
Okay, all right, great.
Can you tell us more about the 4000 Foundation and its mission?
Oh, we're a nonprofit organization, and we came into existence in the fall of 1989, specifically to help raise funds to effect restoration and maintenance for the Heritage Museum in Copeland Park. This consists of the Burlington steam locomotive and the Milwaukee Road caboose. And then in 1991, we led the effort to bring the Grand Crossing interlocking tower, which sat about 2 miles from the park, into the park for preservation.
And you mentioned it's the 32nd year. So how has the event and the organization evolved over that time?
Well, it's grown fairly steady. We're kind of at capacity now. You can expect see upwards of 250 vendor tables, and their vendors are basically other hobbyists and collectors and modelers.
Okay.
So you're going to see a very broad range of merchandise offered for sale trade. You can be model railroads, all scales, toy trains, antique trains. Certainly railroad memorabilia of any and all descriptions. It's kind of serendipity. You just don't know quite what to expect at these events, but there's a lot, and people in the know are certainly going to be there, but we like to appeal to the casual observer and the new interested people. Of course, the museum is going to be open for guided tours, which is always great to bring it's a family event, so you want to bring the kids. It's entertaining, it's educational, and it's fun.
Yeah, lots of stuff to look at, it
Indeed,
sounds like.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, you pretty much told us what the attendees can expect. Is there anything else, maybe a little hidden surprise, maybe?
You just, like I say, you just never know what's going to show up at an event like this. There's a lot of out-of-production collectors type memorabilia and models and stuff. It's just a surprise. And it's a bargain hunter's paradise. If you're looking to add, if you're a collector or if you're a modeler, if you add to your collection and so forth, you can take some souvenirs home with you. Also, concessions are going to be provided by Frontier Badger Masonic Lodge, as always. and the Loki from the 40 and 8 locomotive are going to be giving rides during the day as well.
Oh, very cool. Okay, and so we have some information up on the screen now. Looks like admission is $5. Kids under 12 are free.
Correct.
Do people need to buy tickets in advance, or should they just buy them when they show up?
You want to get them at the door, so
Okay.
that's not a problem.
Okay.
I have to tell you, I had this same ensemble you're wearing right now, and I had trains when I was a little kid, and then my sisters had their babies, and then it was more like Godzilla versus Artville, and the train stations were just kind of went the way of the dodo bird. But it was fun. It's a really enjoyable time for kids to enjoy, and adults too, man.
Yeah, really an
Oh, it is.
all ages activity.
It's a big part of our heritage, because at one time, the railroad industry was, 5 different railroads served La Crosse at one time.
Wow.
And as you might imagine, it was a lot of families have roots, railroad heritage of the city. So it's kind of a celebration of that as well.
Yeah, very cool. Well, sounds like a great event. So thank you so much for being here to tell us about it.
My pleasure.
No problem. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
Ashley's Stars and Stripes mattress sale is going on now. Save up to $500 on select mattresses. Plus, pay 0% interest for 5 years with no minimum purchase on all in-store purchases. Only at Ashley. Shop more deals in-store and online.
To me, it's the worst thing a parent can face. My daughter was pregnant, and she was about to lose her baby. Because of the extreme abortion ban in her state, we were about to lose her as well. Doctors were not even allowed to help Mandy until she was near death. I'm conservative, but that makes no sense. An extreme abortion ban almost killed my daughter. A national abortion ban would be devastating for all families.
To everyone making time for life's best moments, let us celebrate with you.
In Wisconsin, we love celebrating together. Big days or any other day.
So much.
From hot and juicy to ooey gooey to oh my word.
Oh my word. Serving you a handcrafted meal that makes
Today, a little bit more special. That's what fills us up inside.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Transform your home's exterior and boost curb appeal with River Valley Remodelers Next Generation Siding. Ascend Composite Cladding combines the look of real wood with superior performance, offering durability, energy efficiency, and foam backing. This first-of-its-kind solution ensures beauty, performance, and easy installation. For every siding job booked now until July 31st, we'll be donating $500 to the ORA Bike Playground Project right here in West Salem. River Valley Remodelers. Improve your home, build our community.
Ashley's Stars and Stripes mattress sale is going on now. Don't miss these mattress hot buys, now only $7.99. And get a free adjustable base upgrade with an Align by Ashley Sleep mattress purchase. Only at Ashley. Shop more deals in-store and online.
Welcome to the party. We all make this show together. You guys, this is our show. You just never know who you're gonna meet here. You can feel the energy in this room. Every single person needs to be included in these conversations. Let's do this! Let's make everyone's day a little brighter.
Weekdays at 3 on News 8. Celebrating 70 years, we're News 8 Now.
Welcome back. It's 6:52. Time for your morning news now. 6 people are dead, including 3 children, after a house fire in Necedah Sunday morning. Authorities were called to the fire on Morrow Smile Road around 2:30. The home was fully engulfed when crews arrived. Firefighters stayed on scene for more than 12 hours.
At around 2:30, she thought she heard something like mortars or bangs, which concerned her. She called the sheriff. The sheriff says, "Oh, you live on Morrow Smile? There's a house fire there." And that's when she looked out the window. She woke me up, and the woods behind you were all just orange.
Investigators believe the fire was accidental. However, the investigation is ongoing. A GoFundMe has been created for several of the victims and their families. You can find a link to that on our digital platforms. Hurricane Beryl has now strengthened to Category 5, making it the earliest storm to reach that strength on record in the Atlantic. Currently, its eye is in fairly open waters of the Caribbean Sea, but it's expected to impact Haiti and the Dominican Republic starting today. Could then eventually hit Mexico, but the weather in Cancun is still beautiful for now. That community is getting some schools ready to use as shelters. Lawyers for former President Trump have filed a letter to challenge Trump's conviction in his hush money trial following yesterday's Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity. Sources say the letter filed with New York Judge Juan Merchan seeks permission to file a motion to challenge the verdict. In May, a jury convicted Trump of 34 felony counts for falsifying business records in his hush money trial. If Judge Merchan allows the motion, it could delay the former president's sentencing scheduled for next week. Governor Tony Evers was in Eau Claire yesterday to learn more about the city's efforts to fight PFAS contamination. The governor joined officials to tour a water treatment plant. He also heard a presentation on Eau Claire's proposed PFAS removal facility, which breaks ground next month. Fighting PFAS contamination has been a central part of the governor's agenda.
The bottom line here is that PFAS are still in our environment. People are still making PFAS, and people still are finding out at this point in time that PFAS are wrecking their water and making people ill.
Last year, the governor approved $125 million in funds to combat PFAS. Republican lawmakers have refused to release those funds. Governor Evers has since filed a lawsuit against the Republican-led Budget Committee. U.S. gymnastics superstar Simone Biles is making her third trip to the Summer Olympics after locking up her spot on the 5-woman U.S. team. Her return comes 3 years after the 4-time gold medalist announced she would pull out of the Tokyo Olympics to prioritize her safety and mental health. Following her 2-year break, Biles won 6 world all-around titles and 2 national championships.
This is definitely our redemption tour. I feel like we all have more to give, and our Tokyo performances weren't the best. We weren't under the best circumstances either, but I feel like we have a lot of weight on our shoulders to go out there and prove that we're better athletes, we're more mature, we're smarter, we're more consistent.
The Summer Olympic Games are set to kick off in Paris July 26th.
I do like all the smiles and happiness and focus. We get into the rainfall that will continue to track to our east. And as that happens, well, we are going to be seeing another batch of rainfall that will come out of the southwest. You can see the first stretch of that in the bottom left of your corner screen. And of course, I'll have your full forecast coming up for the noon hour back when we return.
And the college favorite cup of noodles has introduced a new flavor of instant ramen that's more like a dessert. The new limited edition flavor is called Campfire S'mores, featuring a sauce-based flavor blend of chocolate, marshmallow, and graham crackers. But if you don't think you can taste the marshmallows, you can always add mini marshmallows to the top. So what do you think? Would you try that?
Well, I had to take a second to say, was that going to have noodles in it too? I wasn't sure what was going on with that.
Yeah, I guess noodles and chocolate and marshmallows.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would try it. I don't know if I would eat the whole thing.
How about you first?
Okay. All right. We'll see if we can find one. I bet Woodman's has that flavor. Thank you for starting your morning with us. We will see you back here at noon. Until then, enjoy your Tuesday.